All right, we have 2019 PBA Tour Finals. Jakob Butturff and myself raced to 2 points. Jakob got the first game. And you get in these positions like this, race to 2 points, you know, it's basically comes down to one game match. You know, you have to win or you lose. So I bowled a good game the first game and just wasn't able to score, and Jakob was able to beat me. And I felt really focused on this TV show. I don't know how much you could tell at home, but it's probably ranks very high as the most focused I've ever been on a TV show. I bowled well in the qualifying, did well in the step ladder, get past Prather and Bill to even get to this point to bowl Jakob. So again, like I said, it's just it's a do or die situation. And starting the match, 2 perfect shots. And that's all you can do in these situations, get up the really good shots and try to tell your opponent or make them feel like you're in total control of what you're doing, and make them think that they can't miss, which might add a little bit of pressure to themselves. And bowling someone like Jakob, who's known to be able to string a lot of strikes together, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to just skate through this match and get a title. I knew it was going to be hard fought. I knew that I was going to have to strike a ton just because of what Jakob's capable of doing, because we've seen it time and time and time again.
Let's see, we got another 10 here, CB. No, big 4.
Seeing this actually gave me a little bit of hope for the fact that Jakob doesn't make mistakes like this very often. Very rarely does he get like less than 9, especially on TV. I know he's had some spare woes over the last couple of years. I know he's been working and practicing on that a lot, but leaving big splits like that is something that he doesn't do very often. So I knew I needed to take advantage and put 2 good frames together. As I'm watching this, I don't actually remember what I did in these next 2 shots, so I'm going to go with you here and and see what I actually do here. A little light, but it strikes. And that's huge. You always want to get up and throw good shots and strike after your opponent makes a mistake.
Tackett. 2018 PBA Tour Finals.
Seeing that little graphic there, it's been a pretty good run last year or so. 12 top 5s, I would rank that as is really successful in that amount of time and that amount of events. It can always be better, but things have been going pretty well.
Chance to win his 2nd PBA Tour Finals title in 3 years.
It was a good shot. Might have been a little firm. I was really trying to roll the ball a lot. You can see my ball going end over end a lot on this show. And sometimes when I'm doing that, my hand tends to get a little bit flat at the bottom, and the ball goes end over end a little bit too much. And you'll see stuff like that, you know, the weak 10s when you get in positions like this. But again, I got up and struck in the 3rd and stayed clean in the 4th, so that puts a lot of pressure still on Jakob because I strike out, it's 279, he strikes out, it's 262 at the current moment. So I've got a pretty good lead, but I just have to keep the hammer down. Jakob was curving the lane quite a bit on this TV show. The lanes, if you played him like Jakob is, I mean, the ball hooked a lot, but he throws urethane balls a lot, and when you're using that much angle, urethane tends to not want to get through the pins as well as it maybe should. And you'll see little flat sevens like that from Jakob every now and then when his angles are opened that much. And looking at that graphic, Jakob's also had a really good run, 5 wins in 26 events. That's 1 in 5, folks. That's a pretty good clip.
Well, this might be the tipping point. If he wins this event,
and 8 top 5s, it means every time he does get into a title match situation or on a TV show, his percentage of winning is pretty high.
If he wins this
good shot there.
4 titles, tying Jason Belmonte. Belmonte has 2 majors, so he gets kind of the skill in his favor.
So over the last year and a half or so, ever since I went back to 15 pounds, you notice I'm throwing a Jackal Ghost. It's a ball that I've been throwing a lot on TV shows since I've gone back to 15. Not sure why, but when I get in these situations, that ball tends to just match up the right way. Another good shot. Wasn't 10 straight back, but I felt like my pocket was really big on this TV show, and like I talked about earlier, getting my hand behind the ball and getting the ball to go end over end. As long as I got my hand in the right spot at the bottom and rolled it how I wanted to, I felt like my pocket was really big for me to be able to actually strike. And that's why you'll see on this particular show a lot of different strikes from me. We saw the Swisher 7 go down. We saw kind of a weird 10-pin there. High flush, gets to 9 out. My pocket is really, really big as long as I can get my hand in the correct position at the bottom of the swing. You can see I got a little bit of rotation there, but it's mostly end over end. That is a great view. So again, I did exactly what I needed to do, make a double. Coming back from commercial break, Jakob has to sit there during it and think about what's going on in this event, and think about having to get up and strike.
2017 Orlando, Belmonte, last year in suburban Detroit. How will this one unfold is the question here.
And a side note, I wish the PBA Tour would run the Tour Finals every single week, because we've done this event 3 times and I've been in the title match every single time. So a little personal gain there for me. Great shot there from Jakob.
And again,
and one thing we've seen from Jakob over the last couple of years is when he does get in situations where he is down, he typically is able to fight through it and come back and throw some strikes and put pressure back on his opponent. And that's something that I've seen and I know, so I'm expecting it to happen. And expecting things to happen puts you in the right frame of mind, so that way you're not surprised by it. When Jakob gets up here and throws 2 perfect shots in doubles, I wasn't surprised at all. I was expecting him to do that. So you keep yourself in kind of the same frame of mind, so that way when I get up here and throw these shots, I can just get up and do the exact same thing that I've been doing, because I'm not surprised at what Jakob did. So it really helps me mentally. And again, a little bit different strike there, and we've seen like the last 3 or 4 strikes that I've thrown, they've all been different. And that's what I was talking about, where if I get my hand in the right spot at the bottom of the swing, I feel like my pocket is really big. I don't have to throw an absolute perfect shot to knock all 10 down.
Message to us before this event started. You have been bowling well.
And now we're getting down to the end of the game, and when you get in positions like this, towards the end of games, to even have a chance at a title, this is what separates, good players from great players, is being able to perform in these situations. And you see right there, I actually posted that shot, which is something that I rarely do. And it seems like I do this more in situations like this, and when I know I really threw a perfect shot off my hand. And to see that 9-pin stand was heartbreaking, because I know getting a strike there and going into the 9th and 10th, I still have the hammer, as we would say. Jakob can't shut me out or do anything of the sorts. I can still get up and strike out and win the match. But striking there would have really helped on, putting a dagger into this match. So after the 9-pin, Jakob gets up and throws a great shot in ring 7s, and that just helps me out a little bit more, knowing that, all right, and we can get up and basically I can spare twice with good count and still win this match. So it does take a little bit of pressure off yourself when you have quite a big lead like I do here, 27 pins with 2 frames to go. You just have to get up, stay clean, throw some good shots, and move on to the 9th and 10th frame roll-off. And again, like when you get in situations like this, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. I know that all I have to do is throw 2 spares, but you still want to stay focused and make good shots, because you don't want to get up there and do something stupid. And big 4 or 2-8-10, you still have to keep your focus level high and make good shots like you need to throw strikes. Because if you get up there and say, oh, I don't need to throw a strike, you're probably not going to throw one. So it's still a mental state of mind that you have to stay focused and you have to throw a good shot. So even though I know I don't have to strike, I'm getting up here with the mindset that I do. And might have been one of the best shots I threw the entire match. So now it's get up in the 10th, throw one more strike, and we move on. At this point, all I need is a spare and 4 pins. But when you get in these situations, you don't want to have to shoot a spare. You're going to throw one good shot and put the last nail in the coffin for this match. Again, it was a great shot that I threw there. I had some troubles on this left lane. I think every time I missed, this game was on that left lane. And I really liked that one off my hand. I thought, yep, that's it. We're moving on. And you see the 10-pin stand, and you have to refocus, because you don't want to get up there and miss a single pin to lose the title. So able to convert. Now we just need 4.
He looked over at his tour rep and kind of gave it the down.
So now it's just stay behind the line and hit the one in front. Is basically all you're trying to do here. So you see me there, I double checked the score, just to make sure I knew what I needed. And 238, which, if I'm sitting there at the beginning of this match, I really wouldn't think that 238 would be enough to win this game. Fortunately, it was, and now with the race to 2, Jakob has 1, I have 1. The result is a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. You know, it's such a different event with the race to 2. It's again, I talk about mindset a lot going through situations like this, and you have to mentally prepare yourself for these types of situations. You know the format's a little bit different, and you sit and just prepare yourself to bowl it and be prepared to have that 9th and 10th frame roll off if need be. Because in 2 games, you know, one shot can really change a match. And in this particular match, it was the big 4 that Jakob left in the 3rd frame, I believe.
Game 2, so now the 9th, 10th frame roll off.
So now Jakob was the higher seed, and he gets choice of starting lane in order.
9th and 10th frame roll off. Jakob Butturff will have choice of starting lane. EJ will start on the left lane.
That's what Kirk is going through over right now.
In both of his frames. EJ will finish up on the right lane. Good luck, gentlemen.
So basically the way it works out is it's kind of like the start of a TV show. You know, you start first and you finish last. So Jakob has me starting, so I bowl the 9th frame, so that way Jakob can get up and bowl his 9th and 10th frame. And hopefully, in his mind, no matter what I do, he can put all the pressure back on me.
EJ starts on the left, finish on the right. I'd love to get a Chris Barnes prediction.
Here we go.
See me post it a little bit, and what a lucky break that was. I said before I had some troubles on that lane during the match, and I think that ball was, I'm not sure if it was just hooking a little bit early because it's asymmetric and not saving enough energy down lane, but very, very fortunate there to get the old leaner on the 10 pin. And Jakob had just as much trouble with this right lane as I had with the left lane. He threw a lot of good shots over there and quite a few ring 7s. But now, sitting there, seeing him ring 7, I know that no matter what he does, that I can get up and throw a double in the 10th frame and win. So it's nice to know that no matter what he does in this left lane, that I can get up and have an opportunity to win the event. And that's all you can ask for as a professional, is to have the opportunity. And you do your best to perform at a high level in those situations.
Man, how big that 10 pin that EJ Tackett carried, how big could that possibly be?
In Jakob's situation, he knows that he has to get up and throw some good shots. And again, the ball overhooked on that same lane he big forward on earlier in that last match. And now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, if he gets 2, all I need to do is get 9 in 2 shots to win this event.
The 4 stands as we check our hammer tough spare replay.
But as I talked earlier, you don't want to get up and do something stupid. You want to get up here, full focus, and try to strike. Because you want to just put it away and not have to do anything else.
EJ needs 9. He's got 10.
And the messenger was pretty cool, and I talked to Randy after this event. He said that might be one of the sickest messengers he's ever seen to win an event. But what's important really to me is might be some of the most emotion you've ever seen from me. Looking up to the sky, we had lost my grandfather about a week prior to this event, and he actually passed away the night before we headed to Portland, Maine for the PBA League. And I went from there to Las Vegas to bowl this event. So I was unable to attend the services for him, which really upset me. But to get this win, and you know, I dedicated this one to him, and it was really special. And I really embraced Jakob there. I know he had lost his grandfather. I'm not sure when, but he's got it tattooed on his arm, Grandpa Ken. And you know, I had an embrace there, and it was nice to have Jakob there in that moment, because I know he's been through the same thing. And it was just a really, really special win for me. It's definitely ranked up there pretty high. It's hard to put one ahead of the other, but the 2016 World Championships with my dad and that one are maybe two of the most special wins that I might ever have on the PBA Tour.